guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Fran, I'm from Venezuela, and today we're going to be watching a video called The Difference Between the UK, Great Britain, and England Explained. So I want to watch this right now because I know it can be pretty confusing. I know technically it's the UK, and because people, people like from Ireland, they get offended if you call them British, or if you say they're English. No, I think that's the thing. If you mention they're British, like, they're gonna be cool, but if you mention they're English, they're gonna tell you, no, we're not English, we're Irish. And I put the Irish example, but I think it's the same with like people from Scotland, people from Wales, people from other sort of like places in the UK. So I'm super excited to finally learn the difference, because I think I sort of understand the theory, but it can get pretty confusing, especially if you're not super used to it. So let's check it out, and comment, like, subscribe, and start.
Welcome to the United Kingdom and a whole lot more, explained by me, CGP Grey. United Kingdom,
Okay.
England, Great Britain, are these three the same place? Are they different
No, they're
places?
not.
Do British people secretly laugh at those who use the terms incorrectly? Who knows the answers to these questions? I do, and I'm going to tell you right now. For the lost, this is the world, this is the European continent, and this is the place we have to untangle. The area shown in purple is the United Kingdom. Part of the confusion is that the United Kingdom is not a single country, but instead is a country of countries.
Yes.
It contains inside of it 4 co-equal and sovereign nations. The first of these is England, shown here in red. England is often confused with the United Kingdom as a whole because it's the largest and most populous of the nations and contains the de facto capital city, London. To the north is Scotland, shown in blue, and to the west is Wales, shown in white. And, often forgotten even by those who live in the United Kingdom, is Northern Ireland, shown in orange. Each country has a local term for the population. While you can call them all British, it's not recommended, as the 4 countries generally don't like each other. The Northern Irish, Scottish, and Welsh regard the English as slave-driving colonial masters, no matter that all 3 have their own devolved parliaments and are allowed to vote on English laws, despite the reverse not being true, and the English generally guard the rest as rural yokels who spend too much time with their sheep. However, as the 4 constituent countries don't have their own passports, they are all British citizens, like it or not. They are British citizens of the United Kingdom, whose full name, by the way, is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So where's Great Britain hiding? Right here. The area covered in black is Great Britain. Unlike England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, Great Britain is a geographical rather than a political term. Great Britain is the largest island among the British Isles. Within the United Kingdom, the term Great Britain is often used to refer to England, Scotland, and Wales alone, with the intentional exclusion of Northern Ireland. This is mostly, but not completely true, as all 3 constituent countries have islands that are not part of Great Britain, such as the Isle of Wight, part of England, the Welsh Isle of Anglesey, the Scottish Hebrides, the Shetland Islands, the Auckland Islands, and the islands of the Clyde. The second biggest island in the British Isles is Ireland. It's worth noting at this point that Ireland is not a country. Like Great Britain, is a geographical, not political term. The island of Ireland contains on it 2 countries, Northern Ireland, which we have already discussed, and the Republic of Ireland. When people say they are Irish, they are referring to the Republic of Ireland, which is a separate country from the United Kingdom. However, both the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom are members of the European Union, even though England in particular likes to pretend that it's an island in the mid-Atlantic rather than 50 kilometers off the coast of France. But that's a story for another time.
Yes, I actually think
the 2 largest islands in the British Isles are Ireland and Great Britain. Ireland has on it 2 countries, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, while Great Britain mostly contains 3, England, Scotland, and Wales. These last 3, when combined with Northern Ireland, form the United Kingdom. There are still many unanswered questions, such as why when you travel to Canada is there British royalty on the money? To answer this, we need to talk about empire. You can't have gone to school in the English-speaking world without having learned that the British Empire once spanned a fourth of the world's land and governed nearly a fourth of the world's people. While it's easy to remember the parts of the British Empire that broke away violently, we often forget how many nations gained independence through diplomacy, not bloodshed. These want-to-be nations struck a deal with the empire, where they continue to recognize the monarchy as the head of state in exchange for a local autonomous parliament. To understand how they are connected, we need to talk about the crown. Not the physical crown that sits behind glass in the Tower of London and earns millions of tourist pounds for the UK, but the crown is a complicated legal entity best thought of as a one-man corporation. Who created this corporation? God did. According to British tradition, all power is vested in God, and the monarch is crowned in a Christian ceremony. God, however, not wanting to be bothered with micromanagement, conveniently delegates his power to an entity called the crown. While this used to be the physical crown in the Tower of London, it evolved over time into a legal corporation sole, able to be controlled only by the ruling monarch. It's a useful reminder that the United Kingdom is still technically a theocracy, with the reigning monarch acting as both the head of state and the supreme governor of the official state religion, Anglicanism. Such are the oddities that arise when dealing with a 1,000-year-old monarchy. Back to Canada and the rest. The former colonies that gained their independence through diplomacy and continue to recognize the authority of the crown are known as the Commonwealth realm. They are, in decreasing order of population, Canada, Australia, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Jamaica, the Solomon Islands, Belize, the Bahamas, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Tuvalu. All are independent nations, but still recognize the monarchy as the head of state, even though it has little real power within their borders. There are 3 further entities that belong to the crown, and these are the crown dependencies: the Isle of Man, Jersey, and Guernsey. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they are not considered independent nations, but are granted local autonomy by the crown and British citizenship by the United Kingdom, though the UK does reserve the right to overrule the laws of their local assemblies. Are we done now? Almost, but not quite. There are still a couple of loose threads, such as this place, the tiny city of Gibraltar on the southern coast of Spain, famous for its rock, its monkeys, and for causing diplomatic tension between the United Kingdom and Spain. Or what about the Falkland Islands, which caused so much tension between the United Kingdom and Argentina that they went to war over them? These places belong in the last group of crown properties known as British Overseas Territories, but their former name, Crown Colonies, gives away their origin. They are the last vestiges of the British Empire. Unlike the Commonwealth realm, they have not become independent nations and continue to rely on the United Kingdom for military and sometimes economic assistance. Like the crown dependencies, everyone born within their borders is a British citizen. The Crown Colonies are, in decreasing order of population, Bermuda, the Cayman Islands, the Turks and Caicos Islands, Gibraltar, the British Virgin Islands, Equatorial and Dekelia, Anguilla, St. Helena, the Ascension Islands, Tristan da Cunha, Montserrat, the British Indian Ocean Territory, the South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, the Falkland Islands, the British Antarctic Territory, and the Pitcairn Islands. For our final Venn diagram, the United Kingdom is a country situated on the British Isles and is part of the Crown, which is controlled by the monarchy. Also part of the Crown and the British Isles are the Crown dependencies. The independent nations of the former empire that still recognize the Crown are the Commonwealth realm, and the non-independent remnants of the former empire are the British Overseas Territories. Thank you very much for watching.
Okay, I love this video. It's very sort of like fun and fast-paced. I will say that yes, I think it's clearer to me. I'm still sort of well, not confused. I wouldn't say the word's confused, only that, you know, it's gonna take you some time to sort of assimilate like all this information. Like overall, I think what I gathered from this is that, you know, the United Kingdom, well, first you have like the crown. The crown basically is what rules everything that was or is still part of the UK. So that includes British Overseas Territories, the actual like islands that are geographically in where the United Kingdom is. And also countries that were colonies, former colonies that sort of like severed ties peacefully, and they were granted independence, you know, peacefully. They didn't have to like fight over it. But when you mention like the United Kingdom, yes, the United Kingdom is basically 2 islands, 2 sort of like masses, territories, 2 sort of like, 2 islands, to say it like that, I think. It's 2 islands. However, one island, that is England, no, it's Great Britain, I think, that's the point. You know, Great Britain is sort of like the big island that when we think about the UK, we think about that, and that includes England and Scotland and Wales. And in the other island, there's Ireland and Northern Ireland. However, Northern Ireland is also, I think, it's part of the UK. However, Ireland is its own separate thing, but it is still the UK. I think, but it's not part of like Great Britain. I think that's what I can gather. I think I may have to like review this a second time to actually like absorb it, because there's a lot of information. But I do know that, you know, there's a very stark difference. I didn't know that, because I know that the Commonwealth was a thing, but I don't know why I thought that the Commonwealth was like every country that, I don't know why, that it was like under British sort of like rule. But no, it's actually like countries that sort of like sever ties with them. But they still recognize, you know, the queen, or well, the king in this, you know, in this day and age. They recognize him as the king, but they don't really depend on them for anything. They have their own economies, they have their own like form of government, their own presidents or whatever. They have their own thing, but they still sort of like recognize them as like the head of state. Recognize the king as head of state, although I don't think it's like, it doesn't really change anything in their daily lives. Like they mentioned, for example, Canada, it has like the queen printed on the bills, on the bills. Well, I'm guessing these days they have the king, I don't know. But it doesn't really change anything. Like the form of government's not going to be asking like permission to the UK to like make changes or whatever. Like the prime minister is not going to do anything. Like they're going to just do it because they're independent. But they do sort of like still say, yes, we recognize that we are part of the Commonwealth, and that's like New Zealand, Australia, I think Jamaica. I don't know. There were other sort of islands that they were sort of like at one point they were a colony, but now they aren't. And there's the British territories, the British overseas territories, that there's like a lot of islands, Caribbean islands, the Arctic, no, it's the one that's below, like in the southern hemisphere, and like a bunch of islands that to be honest, I've never heard of them. That they do sort of like recognize the United Kingdom like these days, because they are technically ruled by them. But they are sort of independent, but they are ruled by them. And they are all like British. Well, they are all citizens from the UK. So their passport says the United Kingdom. So this was like super hard, but I think I'm gonna have to watch this again to finally like get it all together. And hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'll see you soon. Bye.